Hello there, and welcome to Retirees Nigeria. As always, I talk about things that concerns retirees and senior citizens. You may have heard somebody say that he or she regrets retiring earlier than the actual retirement date. This is a statement, that one hears from someone who went on voluntary retirement or early retirement. When an employee decides to retire early or go on voluntary retirement, it means that one is retiring before his actual retirement age. And a number of reasons are responsible for that. But not everyone have a choice, in the matter of early retirement. For some, they are retiring early due to company downsizing. And some for others, they are leaving their job could be due to health challenges that they are facing. And then certain family responsibilities could disrupt and make some people to leave the workforce sooner than they actually planned or hoped to. For yet some others, it could be due to the introduction of technology into their workplace, which they could not cope with. Early retirement might sound like a good idea for someone who is experiencing burnout. He's getting tired of work life, and so wishes to have a change in the way his life or her life is structured. An early exit from workforce is an option. The reasons are many actually, but a common one is this burnout, especially either for those who enter the workforce early or who have put in decades of work, or those who have stressful or crazy work schedule. At some point, one may get tired earlier than someone who entered the workforce much later, because you have worked for a longer period. I'm talking here about people who probably started working right out of secondary school or even elementary school, and while still at work, if they have to educate themselves, they do that through a distance learning mode or through part-time studies. So all the while, they are still at work. So when you are in a job that requires you to climb heights or carry heavy objects, retirement may be on your mind earlier than someone who works in an office. Okay, so I want to talk about some early retirement facts that you need to consider when the thought of leaving, the workforce earlier than your age, retirement age, comes to your mind. One very important one, whether you like it or not, is money. Money is very important, and for most people, this is the major reason for entering the workforce in the first place. Therefore, the first thing to consider, before you go in for an early retirement, is if you will be financially okay without a regular monthly income that you used to get. Income in the form of regular salary. I say this because for some organizations, like those who work for the government, when you retire early, you have to wait till you reach the official retirement age to qualify you to get any form of entitlement. So will you be okay financially until that time without salary? Because for instance, if you voluntarily retired at the age of 55 years, and the official age for your organization is 65 years, will you be okay without any form of payment from your employer until you attain the age of 65, which will be 10 years away? Because that means being without salary for 10 years in this case. Do you have plans, in place already that will sustain you? Do you have some savings, enough? Or do you have a side hustle or some investments that will give you passive income? Do you? So, excuse me. Okay, And some of these organizations, if you belong to an organization that allow early retirement and gives you your entitlements early, then you are lucky. uh, because some organizations I know, they have some policy that is different from government. If you are working in an organization like that, sometimes they even encourage their workers to retire early, especially if they want to downsize, and they encourage those who want to retire early to retire. And if this is the case in your organization, some even encourage people to retire early by they encourage them to retire early by offering them some incentives, like paying your retirement benefits immediately you complete the paperwork for retirement. And some even offer certain percentage more of your usual entitlements, and in which case you are paid more than your actual entitlements. But you need to do the math in situations like this to be sure that whatever it is that you are paid will be enough to cover your living expenses, which could include rent, repairs, hospital bills, car maintenance, and any unexpected. I say this because when you retire and your salary ceases, you will have to start spending from whatever you are paid or whatever savings that you have already accumulated. And if you want to use the example of the 10 years before retirement that I just gave, while your colleagues at work are still earning salary and saving money from their salary and also adding to their retirement benefits, you will have to start spending for your retirement benefits or whatever savings that you have. And another thing, since you retired early, what you will likely get will be less than your colleague who put in the total number of years and then retired. So you have to consider that, though report says that most people who retire early have an increase in overall happiness, but the same report says that almost half of those who retire early, they experience challenges in their finances. So you need to keep that in mind. And another fact that you have to consider is your preparedness regarding how to occupy yourself. When you retire, those hours that you used to put into working for your organization is now released to you. So what is your plan about the time that has been released to you? Because the amount of idle time you will have in retirement largely depend on how you prepare for this stage of your life. You need to occupy yourself. Many have imagined that it will be all fun, like in the younger days, when they were not working. But no, it won't be like that. Because in your younger days, there were many things that you could engage yourself in as a young person, which you can no longer do. And those friends that you had in your younger days may all not be around. The ones that you have, many of them may still be at work because they were your age mates and they are still busy with work because they didn't retire early like you. And of those your friends, some may have relocated. Some could be living with their adult children. Some could no longer go out, to have lunch with you as it was when you were younger. And if you are like some people who plan to start another type of business that is completely different from work, that the work that they are retiring from, then that may be another thing that will occupy you, instead of relying on, your relatives and friends to occupy your time. And then if you also have plan to work for yourself by starting a business, that is another, good one for you to occupy your time. It is actually up to you, to think of how you are going to avoid boredom, which could lead to depression in retirement. And remember that, at this age, getting another job, it's not easy if you are 55 and above. So do not retire and then start wanting, to go back to the job that you left. Someone must have taken your place, and therefore there might be no vacancy for you. Getting a new job, at 50 is not easy. So you need to get these things, sorted out. And aside finance, do you know why some wish to go back to their former workplace or get another job? Upon retirement, they have left a workplace that they have formed the habit of going to daily, and this has become a part of their daily routine. When work stopped, something else is supposed to occupy that time and work activity. So if there is none, it becomes a tough time for many in making a transition from daily routine of a job to the unstructured life of retirement. And some of them miss their colleagues, and then they begin to wish that they didn't retire early. Usually, this category of retirees who feel this way are those whose lives are centered around, their work, and they do not have any other activity outside work. For them, their work is their hobby. And if you are this kind of person, then you need to start, early to find something else outside of work that will occupy you. This is for anyone who is about to retire. Whether you are retiring early or not, it applies to both categories. And then when you decide to retire, you have something else to occupy your time. And it doesn't matter what it is, that you use to occupy your time. Whatever it is, just like what you are doing. Because it has been said that a retiree who is not engaged in anything after retirement has a faster rate of cognitive decline, and we don't pray that for us. Early retirement, though, has its good sides. It's not all bad. First and foremost, it frees you from office politics and gossips. You are free from being ordered around by your boss or having to attend to all those emergency assignments. You know that what occupies you when you retire doesn't have to be anything spectacular. It doesn't have to be anything formal. The time is your own. And I give you an example of a friend. She went for voluntary retirement as soon as her married children who lived overseas, started having kids. She went each time any of them put to bed to assist with childcare so that her children could go back to work quickly. This actually saved them the cost of a nanny. And they are happy, that it is their mom, that is helping with the kids. She loved it, she enjoyed it, and the children appreciated it. And another good side of early retirement is the early freedom from work. Work-related stress. Early retirement saves you from the pressure of tight schedule, some of which require you to travel out of town for days, leaving your family behind. And this is especially so for women. Now you can spend the time that has been released to you due to retirement to do as you wish, and you are younger. You start sleeping when you like, You wake up when you want, you go out when it pleases you. And for many people, it hasn't been, something they've been able to do for a long time due to work. So you can go out and get some fresh air, enjoy the sunshine, and you no longer have to skip meals because you need to rush to work so as not to be late. Now you can eat correctly when you want, and you have healthier habits. So all of these you are able to do earlier than your mates who have to wait till the official retirement date. If you have always wanted to travel, now is the time, to travel and stay for as long as it pleases you, to visit your friends and relations, and visit those places that you've always wanted to go to but couldn't because of work. So every day for you in a situation like this is a vacation, and you have a better energy to do that because you are younger. And retiring early is not just going to sit at home. For some people, it is an opportunity to start something new, something you have always wanted to do. For example, if you've always wanted to start a business, or a new career that is different from the one, that you are planning to retire from, or you want to relocate somewhere else to start a new life, or you've always, dreamt of switching or changing career. When you retire early, it means you have, 10 years earlier or when you will have retired to start that new career or start that new business, to relocate or to travel. And it has been found out that generally, retiring early tend to, make people have better relationships with their families and friends, and it also improves on their mental and physical health. And I say this generally, of course, it does not apply to everyone, because if you retire because of health challenges, this may not apply to you. It may or it may not. Okay, so this is it for this video. I wish you luck in your plan for early retirement. My name is Dr. Dorothy Essie. Please subscribe and like my videos that you have watched. Thank you, and bye-bye.